Hello everyone, theREDpanda2002 here, and so here we have, I've slided over, a Dell Dimension 3000, manufactured in 2005. It was one of the more low-end models, but the model I have here, not exactly sure what spec it was, but it had a floppy drive as well as DVD and CD-ROM drives up here, and it had a 80 gig hard drive as well as a Pentium 4 at 2.8 gigahertz. The 64-bit model that wasn't hyper-threaded, as well as 512 megs of RAM. There was no graphics card. It had integrated graphics, not on the CPU. This was before integrated graphics on a CPU. It had Intel Extreme Graphics 2, and this, with Extreme Graphics 2, you can't do much, like at all. So let's crack open the side here and take a look at it. So looking at it from above, we can really see all the stuff at a better angle. So these green things I had in the corner, these were for the CPU to hold it into place. They matched this green cooling thing. They would go on the sides to hold it in, but I just couldn't get these off, so once I got them off, they were staying off. So yeah, this is the CPU. It's got a really big copper cooler. It's actually a lot of copper on there. So to take it off, you just gotta pull back this one, and there's one on the back, and well, really you can only do the front one and it'll come off. Pretty simple. So I took off the thermal paste from the CPU itself, but I left it on here for whatever reason, because I was gonna see if I was gonna upgrade it or not, so I didn't want to waste any thermal paste on it. But here we have a socket 478 Pentium 4, 2.8 gigahertz, 1 megabyte of L2 cache with a 533 megahertz front side bus. It is the SL7PK model, which is fabled for being 64-bit from what I could tell online, but I'm not exactly sure because I couldn't really get to do anything 64-bit with it. So putting it back into place now. Don't forget about the cooler. Just pop it in like that. You should hear some snaps. There's one. Backside's already in. Here's the RAM. We've got 2 sticks of DDR400 RAM, 256 megabytes each. So it totals up to 512 megs total of RAM. So down in the expansion card slots, we see that there is a FireWire card. It is a FireWire 400 card with 1 port on the inside and 2 ports on the outside for DV cameras of sorts. And then we have a modem which came with the system. So yeah, not really much going on here. For a clean testing experience, I installed this 20 gigabyte Quantum Fireball drive. The original drive is in this caddy over here. It's not plugged in or anything, so I didn't want to mess anything up. And right now I currently have a copy of Windows XP Professional that was reinstalled because it was an OEM disk for this exact computer, so it worked. So I guess let's get started with the upgrades. So here are the original sticks of RAM as we saw before. DDR400, 256 megabyte modules for a total of 512 megs. Now getting our new sticks, I actually got them in the mail like this. They were bubble wrapped, which is nice. Here they are. It doesn't say what brand they are. It's just kind of this generic sticker. But that's how they both are, presuming that this one is the same. You can kind of see through it, so it is the same. Got it open now. Here it is. 2 sticks of 512, totaling 1 gigabyte. A double size of RAM from what we had before, 512, which is a lot for Windows XP. So we should be good to go here. The maximum amount of RAM that this system supports is actually 2 gigabytes. So we're going pretty high up here with this upgrade. So that's pretty nice to see that we're getting a lot out of our system. And in. There we go. That's one upgrade down. And the second upgrade is the video card. So as I mentioned before, the original integrated graphics were pretty terrible. So in here, I'm installing pretty overkill for the system. A graphics card from 2008, and as you can see, it's using a PCI bus. So it's like not new at all. It's an NVIDIA GeForce 9400 GT. Uses the PCI bus right here. It's got DVI, S-Video, and VGA. And it's one of the last PCI cards that was made with an NVIDIA chip in it. Actually, it is the last PCI card before they switched over to the GT and then insert 3 numbers series with the GTX 200, GTX 300, GTX 400, etc. So really the only next upgrade from this, and I say upgrade, is the GT 210, which is actually worse than this. Or we could go with the GT, I don't know, like 400 something. I don't know. This thing just is really overkill. I really only wanted to upgrade this thing so I could play Halo, and really keeping the 512 megs of RAM, it wouldn't have really been a problem, but 1 gig is certainly an upgrade. So I didn't take any benchmarks because I wanted to do it on camera, so I'm actually going to have to take out that RAM so we can actually try some games out on it before we try out the upgraded system. So I guess I'll downgrade it real quick. Alright, both the sticks are in, the CPU is in, as well as the hard drive, and everything's back together really. So we should be good to go for our testing. I'm going to test it on Windows 7, as a lot of programs still from Windows XP will run on Windows 7, and I feel like Windows 7 is lightweight enough to be put on the system, because a Pentium 4, really, it's suitable for Windows XP, it's suitable for Windows 7, Windows Vista, I haven't tested it, but I'm just gonna do a safe bet and say maybe on that one. So I think I've fiddle-faddled for long enough, and I think it's finally time to get into some benchmarking. But as I've said before, we have Windows XP on here on the hard drive I put in there. So I'm going to upgrade that to Windows 7, and then we can get started on the benchmark. Oh god. Oh no. This is terrible. Kring-a-ding-ding, bing-bong. Okay, so we're here in Windows now. So we gotta install Windows 7 from here. And I kind of like don't have a plan from if that not. My keyboard's spazzing out. Okay, I tried a different port. We seem to be doing fine now. Alright, so what we're going to want to do here, because I don't have a mouse hooked up as of right now, is you saw how horrendous that was when we didn't have any graphics drivers. That was terrible. I'm just gonna go from here. Windows installation cannot be started. So we need to upgrade to upgrade. This is not. Alright, well, okay. It's okay. I have a plan. We're gonna upgrade from XP and we're gonna go to Windows Vista instead, because I actually kinda like Vista, but nobody else does. Bing 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 bong. So I'm just gonna be the speaker until we get the speaker plugged in. There was a plug here the whole time. I didn't see it. Alright, so it's been a minute or two. I think I got the speakers working. I don't know. Oh geez, that is really spinning up there. Alright, IDE CD-ROM device. Oh yeah, all the way. Even though it's a DVD-ROM, but you know. And this is where having 1 GB of RAM would help. I mean, not really, since Windows 7's designed to run on systems with 1 GB of RAM. Oh, here we are, back in pseudo, lots of colors. Oh god, it's trying, but it's just not working. And it looks fine, but oh, this is bad. Alright, so unlike last time, this time we're going to be using the custom option, using the drive we have Windows XP installed on, and we're just gonna wait this part out. But before I go, I'm just gonna take a quick moment to appreciate that X right there. That is some it's like one little area of red and everything else is just gone. The whole window is supposed to be like pseudo Aero, since it doesn't have Aero yet. It's like in that installation mode. That Windows logo is looking kind of nasty. Everything else kind of looks fine because it's text. That check mark should be green though. And as you've seen before, the disgusting background. What even is this? Here we are. It has finally surpassed its phase of resetting and doing quote-unquote something while actually not doing anything, and it's preparing for the first use. So this is great. And the mouse actually does work now. Windows 7 Ultimate. We're finally going to be able to benchmark this. I've been doing this for a very long time now. 800 by 600 became like the standard after Windows XP. So I think that this is definitely 800 by 600. 640 by 40 has been long gone. The reason I'm only upgrading the RAM and the video card for this is that I don't really think it's worth it to upgrade the processor. I mean, only if I were to do hyper-threading processor, I mean, I would, but like this is like a top-of-the-line non-hyper-threading processor, so even if I did switch to hyper-threading, the performance increase wouldn't be dramatic. But as you can see, it's taking a very long time, and that is just due to everything being kind of subpar for Windows 7. IDE hard drive, not enough RAM. I said this over and over. Ah! Here we are. Oh, it's 2004. Okay. Okay, so the audio driver is not... It's not running. Okay, yeah, so we definitely do not have Aero. This is not... Okay, oh. Resolution. We got like 3 tasks going on here. Nope. Let's deal with one thing at a time here. I think Windows 7 might be... Oh, 640 by 480! I didn't even know it was possible for Windows 7. Wow, okay, geez. Advanced settings? What kind of color depth are we talking here? Like 16-bit? Okay, well... Here it is. Do we have Windows Movie Maker? We can try... Okay, this is gonna get real bad real quick. We could try to go with Aero, but we would need to get a driver first. We'd also have to get a sound driver. Alright, this seems fine. Let's get the drivers. I had a USB drive and then it just kind of died, so I at least got the files off of it before that happened. So I can just re-image this to like one of my other USB drives I've got laying around. So turning our attention slightly to the left now, we have our Windows 7 system. So I'm going to take out the mouse and plug it into the keyboard, hoping that it'll register. Oh, okay, it's installing. USB input device. Yep, okay, we're good. No, not Internet Explorer. This thing's gonna explode. Don't even think about Internet Explorer. Don't even try it. Don't. Okay. Processes. No, stop. Gonna overload the system. Audio drivers. Everything should be in the Dimension 3000 folder. Alright, so this is actually audio for the 2400 as well as 3000. Windows 2000, Windows XP. It's for Windows XP, but well, isn't that weird? Everything's already here. Windows actually did it! You madman! Okay. Well, okay, let's see if we can continue this little journey we're going on. And maybe we can even change the screen resolution without... No, okay. Well, going on with our adventure, maybe perhaps we can... No, not Internet Explorer. This device is working properly. Okay. I get it. Alt F4. Oh. Wait, the sound. Well, the sound came in. Still can't change the resolution, so let's do a little bit of a maneuver and forcefully turn off our system. Well, luckily, we actually managed to get the drivers installed from the Windows XP drivers, so we actually have a good shot at this. It was great up until the fact that it's taking really long to load. Oh, we're here! Okay, so obviously there's still no Aero, but we have managed to get sound and video working. Native resolution, good colors. It's just so slow. 1280 by 1024. This is great. It doesn't offer 1280 by 720. 800 by 600. If your resolution is below 1024, literally it was at 640 by 480. No more with this driver. This is great. Current video card may support Aero with a different driver that is compliant with Windows Display driver model. Okay, yep, that is completely understandable. Windows 7 is, we're just gonna have to deal with what we've got. Although, I do always do this when I have Windows 7. Yeah, you gotta go to sounds, of course. Yeah, check this out, check this out. Hilarious, isn't it? And, yeah, that's about it. That's weird. It's probably because it only detects 512 megabytes of RAM. So maybe it's thinking that we're running with only one stick of 512 instead of two for 1 gigabyte. And it's like, oh, that's not normal. I hope the graphics card actually supports it. It did on Windows XP. So we're sorry, but your computer's video hardware is below the minimum spec for this game. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, turns out it has only 64 megabytes of VRAM. So this is going to be quite the experience here. So I guess we'll just continue anyway. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna have to change some video settings here. Well, the speakers work. Name myself Poop Stomp. Oh. Profile Poop Dump. Okay. Video setup 640 480. We do 75 hertz here. Yeah. No VSync. Low, medium. Let's try to do everything the best that we can. I'll keep that at low. Let's try to do native resolution. Here we are. We're running in native 1280 by 1024. Go to normal. Oh boy. Okay, so this beginning scene, normally even on low-end hardware, does fine, because there's like not many polygons being generated. Oh. Okay, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is like 8 frames a second. Okay, well, we don't need to go this far to know that it's going to be a non-playable experience at that frame rate. So let's just see what we need to do to get it running like actual. Alright, so we'll try 1024 by 768 at medium textures. There's not really much we can do to improve it on this video card here. Well, the mouse cursor is going faster. That's a good sign. Okay, okay. This is actually kind of playable. But it always lags when I look at certain things, so we have to see if it does that. It's actually not half bad. So let's see what it does at lowest settings. So lowest settings would be low here, and then off here, and then 640 by 480, do 75 hertz, and then we'll turn on VSync. Actually, no VSync. And then we'll just go from there. Wow, this game looks horrible on low settings. Wow, he got launched. No, please. This game's off topic, but another game that I like to run on things, so if I can get this thing to go at 75 frames per second, that would be great. GTA 3, it's a 2-disc game. This is a legit copy. You can tell because it has the weird foldable thing. It's actually kind of cool. Once the system gets going, like after it warms up, it's actually decently fast. Like I can open up this, and it'll freeze up. Oh, okay. It has completed setup. So I'm gonna take out the disc now, and I'm gonna try to play it. Alright, I made a shortcut. Launch the shortcut. Rockstar logo should be right here. Yep. Okay. Okay, oh boy. I'm bracing for impact here. Okay, enter. Once we actually do start the game, it's gonna have to optimize the textures or something like that, because it always does that whenever you play it on a new system. Wow. A lot of the settings are actually turned up. I think it's like that by default though. Turning everything up to max here besides widescreen and trails, I'm interested to see what the results will be in game. Okay, alright, let's see how well this does. It recommends a 32 megabyte graphics card, so this is terrible. Jeebus, this is bad. Oh wow. Oh wow, okay. Alright, let's get into game here and oh, this is painful. Okay. Alright. So if I like to keep things at native resolution, and on this game you actually have to once it's in-game. So if we could just turn that down all the way and see how that does. Doesn't really help much here, does it? Oh god. This is a slideshow. Like, this is worse than Halo. We're running at less than 10 frames a second here, because this game locks to 30 frames a second, and if it isn't locked to 30, then it spazzes out really bad. Well, so we've tried GTA 3 as well as Halo, both to very subpar results. So, now it is time to finally upgrade and see how much better not only the operating system is, or the game is, but just general usability. Here we are, back on the floor again, and it's time to put the RAM back in for the second time. And finally, the graphics card. And I am using VGA here, but this is actually cool because it could fit in a slim, a low-profile configuration. And here we are. First, I guess we can start with the RAM. So, just have to move that. Get the recommended amount of RAM here. 1 GB for Windows 7. Which is way more than you'll ever need for GTA 3, and probably just about right for Halo. I think 768 megabytes might be the recommended, which is 512 and 256 combined. And next, it's time for the graphics card, the only other upgrade I wanted to do here. So since we're running out of space here, we only have one PCI slot left. It's gonna have to be mounted down there. But I would prefer if it was mounted up top. So maybe we could just move the cards both down one and try to do it that way. My screwdriver of choice is this Husky branded. It's a little kit screwdrivers. Just gonna need a Phillips head. Get a reasonably sized one, and I guess we can just unscrew them all. Well, we're gonna need a big one. This is the Firewire card. So there's one screw. Second screw is the modem, which no one is using. I'm not using it. If I was going to use the internet on this thing, I'd probably either use a dongle or the Ethernet. So it took a lot of maneuvering and a gigantic screwdriver to get this stupid screw out. And as you can probably tell, I've stripped it to some degree. But we have made it. We've got all the screws out. Got to take out this little I/O shield here. I'll keep it with the floppy drive, since that's a nice little storage area up there. And here's the fabled graphics card. So I guess we'll put it up top, right here. Yeah, right there. Just go down into place, like that. And yeah, that's the graphics card. I mean, it's pretty simple. And then we'll do the FireWire card that I'm not using. Ooh, that's a really tight fit, actually. That fan is like really, really close. But I think we're fine. On the very bottom we'll have the modem, since I don't feel like storing it anywhere else but inside this computer. It's having a tough time getting in there. And there we go. All three cards in place, ready to be screwed back in. Unfortunately, the screwdriver isn't magnetic, so I have to use my hand to help maneuver it. And now we're just left over with 2 extra sticks of 512 meg or 256 megabyte DDR400 for a future project if we ever need it. So basically, here we are. We've made it. The graphics card is in. The RAM is in, everything's hooked up. I almost couldn't get the VGA cable to fit, but I did. If the graphics card doesn't work, this is the time to figure. Okay, it works. I guess we can. Oh, keyboard fail. Oh, right, it's not even plugged in. Start Windows normally. Here we go, starting Windows. The graphics drivers are. I hope that maybe Windows 7 comes with them, because Windows 7 came out after this card came out, so maybe it's included, I don't know. Oh, there goes something. I heard audio. Boom, 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 boom. It's static, but the audio played, so maybe a system crash. Let's try it again. Okay, it's going. It's here. It's still playing the animation. As you can see, it goes like that. It just freezes. It's dead. I'm gonna have to go into safe mode and try to do it. Here we are at the pee pee poo poo login screen. So currently, the drivers, the latest NVIDIA drivers, still support this graphics card. So that's pretty cool. The only problem is that the graphics, the driver is like a huge driver. It's like 200 megabytes, which is pretty excessive. Oh, here it goes. It took a while to load, but here, oh. Device manager. Okay. And display adapters. It's got the Intel one as well as the 9400 GT. Let's go to properties. Okay. So if we just uninstall that, maybe we should be good to go. It's only got our graphics driver now. And since it says that it has WDDM or something like that, And that means that we can do Aero. We can change it from 800 by 600 to native resolution in safe mode. I could never do that in safe mode. It froze again. Oh. But this time it worked. Okay. Oh. Ooh, that was a nice fade into nothing. I mean, that's not too surprising, but can it do Aero? Oh! We have Aero. We have the Aero. Aero running on Pentium 4. You can see through the glass, that's how cool it is. I'm gonna make a shortcut so that way we can easily access it. Halo, okay. This is it. Does it work? Does it run? And more answers will be provided after we actually try it out. Halo came out after GTA 3, and it runs better on low-end hardware than GTA 3 does. Oh, now we have every option. It's 1280, 1024, 75. Let's do VSync. Yup. High. A little bit more bright. Max settings. We're doing Halo on max settings here. Dang. Okay, wow. This is gonna be great. Let's continue our save. The general keys. This is what I like to see. We are running at the screen resolution with 75 Hz refresh rate. This is great. The last thing I want to do is just kind of change that to 7 because it's just better that way. This is so much better. I'm not really playing that great because there's a camera in my face, but I am noticing some stuttering though. Once new areas are loaded in, it goes a little bit like frozen for a second.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief. Do what you do best.
What could we turn down just a little bit to get that to stop happening? Oh yeah, this is it. We have reached peak. Oh, those aren't bad guys. I think it's not the graphics card here, but what I think it is the Pentium 4. I think it's bottlenecking our GPU here. Because this is playable, don't get me wrong, but oh, this is not playable right here. Playable so far. We're staying within close corners, so I'm worried that once we get out of the close corners and into the later game that it's going to start lagging really bad because of the Pentium 4. Well, I think I've seen enough of that. That works pretty well. But besides the minor stuttering, it's pretty great. Alright, next up should be GTA 3, and I have a feeling that this game is going to run perfectly at highest settings. GTA 3 doesn't work, but that's fine, I guess. Wasn't my main goal, but it's kind of disappointing that that does not work. I guess while we're here, I would kind of want to see what our Windows Experience Index is looking like. Well, this is going to take too long. But there it is, we've upgraded this old Pentium 4 system to a gigabyte of RAM, as well as another hard drive, or not a hard drive, graphics card, and now it runs Halo at 75 frames a second, with a couple of stutters here and there. It doesn't run GTA 3 anymore, but that's fine.